Okay. The Father in my spirit has been building upon what was shown to me probably Saturday, Sunday, somewhere up in there, and today is Wednesday. But he's been building upon an incident that happened. And that incident was that I went outside one morning and the car wouldn't start. I had no symptoms of a dragging battery starter or nothing like that. So ever since that day, God has been revealing more and more, building upon that incident regarding what happened in the natural. He was explaining to me what was going on in the spiritual realm. So to share it with you, we already know that we're in a different dispensation. We're in a new age. A new world has begun, and the presence of the Creator Almighty is here in living color. The Spirit is here to be able to create what He visioned, what the Spirit visioned this world to be. And the capabilities of creating that is here in our very presence. So what God revealed to me regarding my charger and my car wouldn't start, point blank, I had to call AAA and they had to come out and jump start me. So that revelation right there is God has given in this new time an extra charge. We have been ignited to new limits, to new capabilities, talents, skills, spiritual gifts. Everything has been charged, that extra charge. And then I need my notes, but I'm making my coffee right now. And then the part where I had to wait for hours for AAA to get out here. So no rush, because I didn't really have anywhere to go anyway. So that was no problem with me waiting on AAA to get here. And regarding in the midst of me waiting all those hours, over 4 or 5 hours, I locked the keys in the car. As I'm waiting on AAA, my keys was also locked in the car. Come to find out, the AAA didn't get here till like 5 or so hours later. But after about the second hour of me waiting, it dawned on me, God refreshed my memory regarding I have a spare key. I thought I broke the key to that vehicle, but it was my truck key that broke, not the car. So what God revealed on that issue regarding the jump start, that extra charge, and the key, I had the key the whole time. We have what we need the whole time within us. But are we knowledgeable of it? Are we aware of that? Whatever we need, it's right here at our access. I had the key to it the whole time, but did I know it? Until my spirit revealed it to me. So another thing regarding and this is really my personal input. This is my personal input. I'm hearing a lot of talk, a lot of just busy talking, on different videos I watch, YouTubers I watch. Nothing against anybody and their way, their style, their message. I have nothing against that because I know God can use it all. No matter who, what, when, or where, God can use it all. So, but my thing is that there's a lot of different messages coming through different vessels. And it's so much being put out in the air. It's always been, but it's going to be even more able to cause confusion. And we know that God is not the author of confusion. But what I want to say is that all of the busyness, all of the messages that's flowing in the air, and which way, who, what, when, all of that trying to tell you this, tell you that. But to where I feel the Spirit of God is leading is that everybody have their own spirit. Everybody have their unique way that God relates to each and every individual. God is not trying to mold you or us into no one particular mold. That's the beauty of being free. To worship the spirit that you know you're sincere about. And God knows we could be sincerely wrong. But even if we're sincerely wrong, if you're sincere about serving the creator of all things, the most high of I don't care what name, if we're sincere in our heart, the guidance will be there. The wisdom will flow to us. As my journey in my spiritual walk, I done been through Christianity, Hebrew Pentecostal, Hebrew Israelite. I mean, I've been there, been through, but I found that each level, when you don't have a closed mind, or you're closed to any knowledge from anywhere or anybody or anything, you're stunning your growth. But when you're open to the Spirit of God to lead and guide and teach, you will find that you have your own way of receiving messages from God. Your way may be closer to receiving messages through nature. Your way may be closer to receiving messages through songs, music, books. I don't know, but everybody, they got their own way to hear the voice of God within them. And when we connect to the individuality of serving God as we know in our spirit, that brings peace, that brings joy, that brings love, that brings freedom. When you found that place, you found that God within you, and go with that. Because to me, no, I'm not going to get into all of that, but seek that from within. Now, let me see what notes I wrote down, because I've been writing them down ever since maybe Sunday of just past. Okay, I talked about the battery. And yes, the busyness of all of these different messages and voices just flooding the waves out in the air. That's more reason to learn how to get in the no thought zone. Shut out any thoughts. Cut the thinking off. Bring that mind into captivity. To shut it off. Sometimes you got to shut it off. And some of us, again, as I said in previous messages, some of us live like that. To get to the level of no thoughts, I call it entering into my blackness. All of that space, that's where I achieve to have in my spirit. the nothingness, the no thoughts, the space of God. And when we're learning how to bring that mind into captivity, we're also learning how to hear the voice of God. His sheep hear his voice, and a stranger's voice they don't follow. But you got to bring the mind into captivity to the space of no thoughts. It sounds easy, and it is that easy. As you keep practicing more and more, you'll start seeing the difference of the thoughts and the no thoughts. And you will run back to the no thought, because that's where peace, relaxation, love, joy, that's where it all is. That is where it originates from. So to shut out all of the different messages, the different sounds, yes, practice to stay in that no thought zone. And then when those particular thoughts come through, you'll start recognizing the voice of God. You know the sound of your mother voice. You know the sound of all people. You could distinguish them by their voices. And just as God's voice to you, you'll recognize that voice. And basically, it'll sound like you. But you'll know what part of you is receiving that thought. So let's see. And another thing, connecting with all of the different voices and messages in our airwaves, it to me, it stirs up, as I said, confusion, bickering, just little nagging, irritating things to keep us from elevating when we're in the state of confusion and debating and things like that. That is not the space to be in. And to be debating over words. Our words, I mentioned in the last video that it's not about morals. That may offend some people, but it's not about how good you do this, how good you are of a person, how good. It's not about that to me. It's about the sincerity. Because we got a lot of people that do things, but only God knows the heart. So that's not the foundation of our spirituality, the morality of ourselves. Yet, yes, all of that comes into play. We should evolve in our character and integrity as we grow. But as far as that being the determination of our spiritual growth, that's not where it is. And the words, all of the words, we should be getting to the point where bickering and debating over words, titles, definitions. When we get to a space, words isn't even needed. And that to me is what God is doing, that extra charge to his people, is getting them used to or start the practice of speaking without speaking, speaking energetically, speaking telepathically, seeing without seeing, seeing from the spirit, hearing without hearing. Everything is being done from within. Those who have eyes and ears to see, we will be able to see. As far as the extra charge, again, the extra charge will also allow us to see with X-ray vision. You'll be able to see behind the surface. You'll be able to hear what's not being said in between the lines. We'll be able to know these certain things. But it takes us to connect and practice shutting down all the other wave frequencies flooding our thoughts, our mind, to the point it will affect the body. All of the agitation, the frustration, the mental debating, it will affect the body mentally, physically. So we need to get off those areas that take us from the peace, that take us from the rest, that take us from the love, the joy. Stay in patience. Stay in humbleness, meekness. God will give us the time to rise up and confront and all of that. But the majority of the time, the Spirit is handling all of that. Our mission is to stay in the oneness so we could keep elevating, focus on our growth. Let's see what else I have here. I think I mentioned basically everything in one way or another. Everything that I wrote down, I believe I mentioned it all. But yes, God is giving us an extra charge regarding our vision, regarding our hearing, regarding being able to control the thoughts, the mind, bringing the body and the mind into subjection. Take hold. We have control over things of ourselves. We may think we can't stop doing this and stop doing that. When we depend on the Spirit of God to aid us in this, you have all power with us right here and now. It's like we have a cheat sheet. Some teachers used to give all the answers to the test. And then when the day of the test come, did we study the answers to the test? Are we able to take the test when yet we have even been given the answers? It's laid out for us to easily elevate. All right. Pray the message came over. Have a blessed day.